Hi, everyone. Welcome to the second installment of Songs of the Season, Sunday morning Bible study for Advent 2020. Today, we're going to talk about, I think, one of my favorite hymns, and I think one of yours as well, the hymn Star Child, which has become a favorite at HAB over the past decade. The hymn text was written by Shirley Murray in 1994. We have five hymns written by Shirley Murray in our Celebrating Grace hymnal, most notably Star Child, Who is My Mother, Who is My Brother, and Take My Gifts and Let Me Love You. Listen to these words of Michael Hahn, professor of church music at SMU in Dallas. He writes, United Methodist Bishop Joel Martinez once said, each generation must add its own stanza to the great hymn of the church. This is especially true of songs of the Incarnation. We cannot rely only on the Christmas carols of the past, but must ask ourselves, what does the God who came to earth in human form mean for us today? Hahn continues, New Zealander Shirley Murray, one of the most accomplished hymn writers in the English language, answers this question in the text Star Child. Star Child, Earth Child, while that text, the beginning of the text, sounds a bit New Agey, a closer examination of the words reveals a hymn rooted in Christian and human reality. Shirley Murray, who recently died in January 2020, the wife of Presbyterian minister John Murray, began writing hymns in the 1970s to undergird her husband's theology and sermons. The first independent publication of her hymns was in 1987, In Every Corner Sing. It was a collection that featured many themes that she would continue to develop throughout her lifetime. She wrote on hymns about peace and justice and human rights, inclusiveness, and a call to social responsibility and a life of faith. She also wrote about creation, and much of her language is modern and fresh, and her insights um, bring out a theology that makes sense to our modern context. I think she is one of my favorite writers, hymn writers, and a significant influence in my own writing of hymns. I often admire how she's able to make modern language poetically make sense within a hymn for a congregation. Uh, if you recall, last December, I introduced one of her songs. It's about New Zealand's summer climate and what that's like to celebrate Christmas season. And the title of that hymn is Carol Our Christmas. You might recall it. Just for a little reminder, Carol Our Christmas, an upside down Christmas. Snow is not falling and trees are not bare. Carol the summer and welcome the Christ child, warm in our sunshine and sweetness of air. Sing of the gold and the green and the sparkle, water and river and lure of the beach. Sing in the happiness of open spaces, sing a nativity summer can reach. There's two more verses, and perhaps we'll sing it this Christmas, and you'll hear it maybe towards the end of Advent or in the actual Christmas season itself. Michael Hahn continues in his writing about Star Child and makes a very important point. He states, Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol and Hallmark greeting cards may condition us to view Christmas sentimentally. The Christmas trees in our lovely sanctuaries and homes may subtly reshape our thinking in ways that might almost suggest that the Son of God was born in a cozy rural bed and breakfast accompanied by a Walt Disney assortment of cuddly farm animals. He continues, while I do not wish to play Scrooge during this season of wonder and hope, our song should include those that remind us that there are many among us for whom the joy of Christmas has never been experienced. Let me repeat that. Our songs of the season should include those that remind us that there are many among us for whom the joy of Christmas has never been experienced. Or perhaps we might say, whom the joy of Christmas just can't be experienced this year, or at least perceived. Let's continue. Before briefly getting into the text, let's sing it first, because that helps us to know the hymn even more. So if you're not familiar, follow the words. If you're familiar with it, join me at home and sing with me. So let me pull this up and make sure that you have words at home to sing along with me. All right. Share the screen. There we go. This is playing the music, which was written by Carlton Young, a United Methodist Church musician. So now you may recognize the melody from previous worship services. Join me. Star child, earth child, go between of God. Love child, Christ child, heaven's lightning rod. This year, let the day arrive when Christmas comes for everyone alive. Street child, beat child, no place left to go. Perched child, used child, no one wants to know. This year, let the day arrive when Christmas comes for everyone alive. Grown child, poor child, memory full of years. Sad child, lost child, story told in tears. This year, let the day arrive when Christmas comes for everyone alive. Spare child, spoiled child, wanting more. Wise child, faith child, knowing joy in store. This year, let the day arrive when Christmas comes for everyone alive. Hope for peace, child, God's stupendous sign. Down to earth, child, star of stars that shine. This year, let the day arrive when Christmas comes for everyone alive. Well, let me close this out before we have anything else pop up. um, Star Child. You may remember our combined choirs at one time sang in worship an arrangement of Shirley Murray's hymn text, "For Everyone Born a Place at the Table," a text published 4 years after Star Child. I can't help but think that she references her own hymn in the first stanza of "For Everyone Born a Place at the Table." Listen to it. The first verse reads, "For everyone born a place at the table, for everyone born clean water and bread, a shelter, a space, a safe place for growing, for everyone born a star overhead." For everyone born a star overhead. Perhaps in this hymn, as well as Star Child, she is hinting that everyone should be welcomed as Christ was announced on earth, that every child is important, that perhaps we should all have a star. Can't you hear the words of Jesus in Luke 9:46 through 48? An argument arose among the disciples, which one of them was the greatest. But Jesus, aware of their inner thoughts, took a little child and put it by his side and said to them, "Whoever welcomes his child in my name welcomes me. And whoever welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. For the least among all of you is the greatest." Oh, how about that for Star Child? Shall we? Let's take a look just a moment at the text for Star Child. So here before us, we have the text for Star Child, the one we just sang through. Verse 1, "Star Child, Earth Child, go-between of God, love child, Christ child, heaven's lightning rod." This, of course, is referring to Jesus, the birth of Jesus, the child that we're waiting on in Advent, the child that we celebrate at Christmas, the historical birth of Jesus. But then verse 2 hints at something totally different. Street child. Oh, beat child. That's perhaps where congregations first know that there's something different about this hymn. And when I look out in the congregation and even on our platform, the expressions change and tears roll down our face. No place left to go. Hurt child, used child. No one wants to know. Stanza 3 goes in a different direction and broadens the reach of the definition of child. Grown child, old child, memory full of years, sad child, lost child, story told in tears. Stanza 4, spared child, spoiled child. I think I was one of those. Having, wanting more, wise child, faith child, knowing joy in store. And finally, she brings back the theme, hope for peace child, God's stupendous sign, down to earth child, star of stars that shine. Christ is our guiding star. And of course, we are all God's children. And during this year, 2020, there's no more important message than Christ being our guide, our guiding star, and to serve as a reminder that God's children are hurting. There are people you and I know who are suffering because of economic despair. There's people you and I know who are sick, who are in hospitals, who are dying. We must remember that each of us are children of God, and those who are in our church and people that are in our community, people that we drive by, people that perhaps we don't even see in Jacksonville, are children of God. And so we must remember, as Shirley Murray, let me see if I can scroll down here, reminds us, this year, let the day arrive when Christmas comes for everyone alive. There are people who are full of life, and there are people whose lives are being drained due to a number of circumstances. Perhaps you are one of them. May we all continue to strive to help old child, the young child, the hurt child, the beat child, the neglected child, the grieving child, the dying child. And may we be the presence of the newborn star child, giving peace and hope, joy and comfort this season of Advent. I hope to see you Sunday morning. It's early. It's about 8 o'clock when we gather. I won't be able to stay long, and I'll leave you to discuss some more with Britt, but a couple of questions for you to consider. Can you identify the child that you are in this season? Can you identify the child that you were? Maybe just last year, maybe as a child growing up. How does Star Child, this wonderful text, this wonderful concept that brings to light the importance of children in God's kingdom, how does this text come alive this year in December 2020? May God continue to work in you. May God continue to work in all of us as we seek to provide the work of Christmas for a world in desperate need. Amen.